All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about the end of the classic rock era and doing it in real time for a few real people out here, just like you and just like me. All right, so as of midnight the other night, REO Speedwagon is no more. Okay, they're done. Contract says you can't be REO Speedwagon on January 1st, 2025. So there is no more REO Speedwagon. And Kevin Cronin has some things to say about it. Kevin Cronin. All right, before I talk about that, I have not featured this in a while, but due to the subject matter, I figured I'd talk about Rich Rath, Project 313. And I love this CD. You open it up, and who are they honoring here? Well, Gary Richrath, remember him? This super good guitarist who should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Anyway, people miss Gary. They talk about Gary still. It's very similar to Terry Kath with Chicago. And I don't know who's better. Some people will say Terry is better than Gary. They're both from what? The same neck of the woods. Different styles, but they're both amazing guitarists that drove their respective bands. And this is something you can listen to. Again, Rich Rath, Project 313. It's good stuff. So let's get to what Kevin had to say. Kevin Cronin, who is REO by default now. So they played their last show back on the 21st of December at the Venetian. I'm sure they had a sellout crowd, right? The band decided to stop touring due to irreconcilable differences. No, they were reconcilable. They really were. The band will continue to perform minus Hall, although he hasn't played with the band since 2023, and will be billed as Kevin Cronin from now on. So if you missed the last show, and you don't mind the change in name, and the same band members, I've never heard of this happening. Cronin will be co-headlining a 2025 North American tour with Styx along with Don Felder. For legal reasons, they cannot use the name REO, despite being full of artists who have played with the band for years. It's kind of a convoluted way of saying, even though it's the same lineup, they can't use the name. Weird. During the final show for REO, in name only, they played 19 of their classic hits, starting with the entire 1980 album High Infidelity, which is interesting because there's a track on High Infidelity called Someone Tonight, which features the vocal stylings of none other than Bruce Hall. So that's kind of weird. They played a song that Bruce Hall, I think he wrote it too, wrote and sang, but yet he's not there to sing it. They ended with the famous songs. I love the writing. These famous songs, Can't Fight This Feeling, and Roll with the Changes. Your closer is Roll with the Changes. It could have been Time for Me to Fly, right? That would have been good. But he's basically sending a message to the audience that you guys need to roll with the changes. During Cronin's farewell speech, it seemed there was no ill will toward Hall. He thanked all of the members of REO Speedwagon over the years, including Hall, saying, you know what, we couldn't have done it without any of those guys. He added, I feel sadness that this is the final REO Speedwagon concert, and at the same time, I feel grateful to have been part of this incredible ride. I think the REO wagon itself lost a wheel, Kevin, so the ride, not so good toward the end. He says, we have all been brothers on this amazing musical journey, except toward the end where you weren't a brother with Bruce Hall. He says, I wish you all nothing but the best. And when I say you, I mean everyone. Everyone? How about Bruce Hall? Everyone who's been part of this band, part of the crew, and part of the REO Speedwagon fan family. So raise your hand if you were once a fan of REO Speedwagon. Here it is. So fans who have been saying things like, probably do a farewell tour and invite Bruce Hall to come back. He's able to go. His doctor cleared him. He can go out there. I've talked to bass players and they say Bruce Hall was a very good bass player. I'm not a bassist expert, but the new guy, Bissonette, versus the old guy, Bruce Hall, it's like oranges and tangelos. All right. Sorry. It's citrus. Okay. It's in the same family. We hope you join us on that adventure. This is Kevin talking about his new band. Now, what he says here, though, is this sentence here. All right, let me read it from the start. The REO Speedwagon name is being retired tonight, but the music, the spirit, the songs of REO Speedwagon will live on with this band and with me under the name Kevin Cronin. It's me. These songs will live under my name. We hope you join us on that adventure. Please buy tickets. I'm adding stuff. And now, let's roll with the changes. What do you say? And that must be when they broke into Roll with the Changes. So, again, we're going to perform High Infidelity. No Bruce Hall to play and sing on the last version of that as REO Speedwagon. I don't know, folks. I don't know. This has got to be one of the most unfortunate endings to a classic rock band that I can remember. I mean, there have been some doozies, but this didn't even have to happen. Just didn't have to happen. So anyway, before I go, and it's too bad there is no REO Speedwagon anymore. So if you want to get a little bit of an REO fix, Rich Rath Project 313. Also, Terry Luttrell is out there, and he's got an REO Classics live album that he put out there, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Remember Terry Luttrell? And then he was in this band called Star Castle. Deep FM radio stuff from the 70s. You got to be old. You got to be old to even know. I think we used to play that on the classic rock station I worked at because we were a little weird and eclectic, and we had all of those harder to find songs back in those days. Now everything is pretty much on the internet. So again, support your local cover band because at some point your local cover band is going to start sounding better than these bands that are out there demanding $200 a ticket and so forth. That's unfortunate, but I think it's becoming more true as each day passes. Thanks for watching. Please, if you can support this channel, Patreon, YouTube memberships are firing back up. That's going to take a little while to really get going, but the most impactful right now is probably through Buy Me a Coffee. And so I got some coffee right around New Year's. I needed it because I was starting to fade, but now we're in a new year and I'm a new Dave. So same old Dave. Same Dave as the other Dave. Slightly different look, but still doing what I do in real time for a few real people. Just like you and just like me. God bless everyone. Remember, put God first in your life, and things won't be perfect, but it's still better than the alternative.